Hi, welcome back to the Best Travel Channel. My name's Gareth. I'm off to Manchester today. I'm really looking forward to it and I hope you enjoy it too. Let's see what we can find. Many fizzy drinks have interesting origins, and rarely started life as an accompaniment to a pizza. Manchester was where Vimto was created in 1908. It was created as an energising health tonic by a spice and herb wholesaler called John Noel Nichols from Blackburn. Vimto was originally called Vim Tonic, Vim meaning something energising. But it was shortened to its current name in 1912 because it became a cordial instead of a tonic. Vimto is popular in countries like Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, and Senegal as well, because it serves as a sweet, thirst-quenching drink during Ramadan. This monument on Granby Row, built in 1992, celebrates the street where the Vimto story started. The Chinese population in Manchester can be traced back to the Edwardian period, but it really took off following the post-Second World War years. It wasn't just Indians and Pakistanis that made up deficits in the workforce. Chinese and Hong Kongese citizens made Britain their home too. Restaurants and laundrettes were the first businesses to appear in Manchester's Chinatown, the third largest in Europe. This payphang was added in the late 80s and was shipped from China in 3 containers. Much like my order from AliExpress, I suppose. What makes this Chinatown unique isn't what you see, but what you don't see. Behind this unassuming wall, and 115 feet beneath the ground, was the top secret Guardian telephone exchange, one of 3 telephone exchanges built in the 1950s during the Cold War. Telephone exchanges are used to connect telephone calls. This telephone exchange in particular had a rather grim purpose. In the event of a nuclear war against the USSR, the Guardian telephone exchange, which was housed in 2 2-metre diameter tunnels, would keep phone connections alive, since it was in the bunker below ground. It also housed part of a transatlantic telephone cable, allowing Westminster and the White House secure and hardened communication. The area around this square cites a variety of architectural delights, from the Gothic revivalist Manchester Town Hall, built by Alfred Waterhouse in 1877, to its ecclesiastical extension built between 1934 to 1938 by Emmanuel Harris. Manchester Central Library is a neoclassical building, also designed by Emmanuel Harris. Its circular design, known as a rotunda, complete with its dome and columns, gives it a striking look. Here also stands the Midland Hotel, a grand hotel built to impress. At the time of its opening in 1903, it cost a modern-day equivalent of £116 million and was built for the Midland Railway Company. It was used for tired rail workers and business travellers after a long journey from London to St Pancras. The Midland Hotel has been the place to be in Manchester for many years. Charles Rolls and Henry Royce met here, and in 1904 they formed the car manufacturer Rolls-Royce. This part of Manchester is perhaps best known for the Peterloo Massacre of 1819. Manchester at the time had been badly hit by unemployment following the Napoleonic War against France. The economy suffered badly. Crops that year had failed, and the corn that did make it to market was so expensive due to newly added tariffs known as the Corn Laws. The Mancunian working classes responded by demanding reform, spurred on by the words of Henry Hunt. Some 60,000 people gathered on St Peter's Field that day. The Manchester Yeomanry stationed at nearby Portland Street were ordered to arrest Henry. 116 horsemen were sent, one knocking down and killing William Fildes, a 2-year-old boy. The streets leading to St Peter's Field were very narrow, and the horses found it difficult to navigate. When they did reach the crowds, many in the crowd were trampled upon. The cavalry were now stuck, and in panic attacked the crowds with their swords. The 15th Hussars of the British Army were then dispatched, followed by the Cheshire Yeomanry. The 88th Infantry Regiment blocked the crowds from dispersing, while the Manchester Yeomanry continued to attack at random. While the crowds had dispersed by some 10 minutes, over 600 people had been injured and 15 people died that day. Dominating Manchester's skyline, Beetham Tower stands at 554 feet tall and is Britain's 20th tallest building and the second tallest outside of London. It is also one of the slimmest skyscrapers in the world. It contains luxury apartments, part of it is the Hilton Hotel, and to the top there are penthouses, and has a semi-indoor garden, home to olive, lemon and oak trees. The penthouses at the 40th to 47th floor can cost a cool £3.5 million each. Even access to the top is by invite only. Between the hustle and bustle you can find some hidden gems, like this reconstructed Roman fort wall, which marked the entrance to the Roman fort of Mancunium, founded in the year 79. After General Agricola was sent on a conquest of Britain by Emperor Vespasian. Agricola's campaign spanned from Dever Victrix, where you saw me last, along to Saguntium and the Isle of Mona in North Wales, and later to Mancunium and Eboracum, before travelling north to Caledonia, now known as Scotland. Mancunium or Mamucium comes from the Brittonic word mama, meaning a breast or breast-shaped hill, or mama, a local female river deity. Ium meant place or city of, so Mancunium either meant the place of the breast-shaped hill or the place of the deity Mama. The fort was extended a century later and then complete by the year 200. Initially it was foreign soldiers, not Romans, who were stationed here. Later a civilian settlement was established. Furnaces and sheds excavated here suggest that by the 3rd century there was a Roman industrial estate here. By the mid-4th century the settlement had declined, and by the 5th century the Romans had withdrawn from Britain altogether. At the end of Deansgate is Shambles Square, where the old Wellington Inn has stood since the 19th century. Before that it was a house and draper's shop owned by the wealthy Byrom family, where the shorthand pioneer and poet John Byrom was born in 1692. He went to study in France to study medicine, and despite local residents wanting him to be their local doctor when he returned to Manchester, John Byrom felt unable to fulfil his role as a doctor, and instead taught and patented a form of shorthand that would be used in Cambridge and Oxford University, along with in Parliament. Did you know that John Byrom is attributed with coining the term Tweedledee and Tweedledum? The term first appeared in one of his satirical poems about the two Baroque composers, George Friedrich Handel and Giovanni Bononcini. Both composers arrived in London in the early 18th century. They were equal rivals, except Handel had arrived first. Handel was favoured by the Liberal Whig Party, while the Tories preferred Bononcini. Nowadays though, Tweedledee and Tweedledum live at the White House and 10 Downing Street respectively. Interestingly, the square used to be 300 metres down the road, but it was moved here following the construction of the Arndale shopping centre. In 1996, the Irish Republican Army detonated a lorry bomb not far from here, between Corporation Street and Cannon Street, which caused only minimal damage to the square, but overall caused £1.3 billion worth of damage to the city's infrastructure. The explosives used weighed around 3,000 kilograms, which is the weight of an adult hippopotamus. In 1999, the square that we see today was opened in its current location. Well, after all that travelling, I'm really hungry now. I'm off to get some Eritrean food from Asmara Bella restaurant. Make sure you join me on the Best Travel channel. See you soon.